We're talking about Dolly Parton now because according to a US tabloid, she's set to become a mother very soon. She's 75 today. Happy birthday, Dolly, and is reported to want to adopt a child this year or early next. Apparently, this is according to a US tabloid, she's after a 10-year-old instead of a baby. So, Janet, I've got to ask, you are a similar age to Dolly.
Slightly younger.
Okay.
I'm 74.
Apologies,
This is
slightly
all right,
younger.
not offended.
But is this something that you would consider doing?
Don't think so, but listen, I love Dolly Parton. She's done so much good in her life.
Yeah.
She's built a brilliant career. She came from a terrible background, built a brilliant career, stuck up for women all the way, not just a singer, brilliant businesswoman. And during the COVID pandemic in America, she's given out loads of money to charity, millions and millions of dollars. I mean, she is inspirational. Now, if she wants to adopt a child, I have no problem with that. Especially a 10-year-old, because children, it's easy to adopt a baby who's got, you know, whose life hasn't been formed in any way, but a 10-year-old could be really challenging, depending on what kind of background they've come from. I don't think this is really worthy of comment when you think of all the older men in society who don't adopt children, they just carry on breeding. Bernie Ecclestone, for example, Rod Stewart. And what about our wonderful Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who has just popped out another baby.
Although he didn't actually do the popping.
Yes.
But it's interesting that you do talk about adopting children over the... that are not babies, essentially, because... according to BeMyParent.co.uk, while babies are adopted very quickly, the adoption rates of children over 8 decreases significantly. When a child reaches their teens, the rate drops even more. Most children in need of adoption are older than 9. So Linda, when we talk about adoption and the age, you know, of a child, 10 years old, do you feel as though somebody in their 70s should be doing this for a child?
Well, I think Dolly Parton is a fit woman. I mean, she's been around a long time. She's a very wise woman. And as you said, she's inspirational. And I just think at 75, she's still fit and healthy. And I just think that giving a 10-year-old child, even if it's for 10 years, even if she lasts till she's 85, she's going to give that child a great life. She really, really is, with lots of love and attention and everything. And I think by the time that she does get to 85, the child will be 20 and will be able to fend for itself and will have had a great upbringing.
I mean, my mum was a social worker and worked with young kids all the time, and I think people underestimate how difficult it can be for a child being in and out of foster care and adoption and moving all around, different families, different schools, for example. I mean, Paris, is this something that you and Tyson would consider in terms of adoption?
In terms of adoption, I mean, we've got 5 children and it's totally hard enough to balance them. So I have said this in the past, if a family member or a friend or there was a child in need that was near me and they come to the door and it was like, right, do you want to take this child? Of course I would. If there were situations going on with the family where they said, like, right, they can't keep the children anymore, I would take them in because I've got that mothering instinct. But would I specifically pursue adoption when I've got such a hectic load here and let's balance the way it is? I don't know if I would take that risk to put another child in the equation that could break the balance. So I don't think it's something I really would personally do. And as for Dolly Parton adopting, I think it's up to the woman on her own, but I disagree with you in the age factor because I just think there's a reason women have children young in life. I think it's biological that you deteriorate, I think, after like 35, 40. I mean, women go through IVF treatment at like 40, 50. I agree with that. I think you've maybe waited till your career's finished or till it's appropriate in the time of life to have children. So that age, 40s, 50s, is fair enough because, like Linda said, if you have 20-year-olds that lose a parent, they're ready for that. But if you take someone at 70 or 80 and they start having kids, then you're going to have this child that could, it's all right saying Dolly's fit and well now, but in 3 years, things can change dramatically for an older person. They could die, which is terrible, God forbid, for saying. And then you're going to leave this child in turmoil.
Stop right there. Speaking as a 74-year-old, I do not get up every morning and think bits of me are becoming more derelict and life is coming to an end and the end of my fantastic life on earth is just around the corner.
Maybe you just need to accept that you're beautiful and 74 and fresh.
Yes,
but then
I think
things could change a lot quicker for you than a younger person.
You're entitled to think that. All I can say is, if I wanted to adopt a child, I do think that I've got the energy, the enthusiasm, and certainly having looked after 2 stepchildren, I know, you know, what it entails. And also having a very challenging partner and a dog, although that's not directly comparable, I have increased my tolerance levels astronomically over the last...
Really?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Do you agree with an older man having children?
Yeah,
like you've got Bernie Ecclestone, who had a child at 90. Do you agree with that? Do you think at 90-year-old you should bring children into the world?
Well, I think, Paris, there is a double standard here. Nobody really remarks about Boris having another child with his fiancée. Nobody really remarks about Bernie Ecclestone having a child with his second daughter.
How old was their partners, though?
Much younger, but you know, I
Well,
just
then
find
they are
it
going to be left with a
fascinating.
mother.
I find it absolutely
Still.
fascinating that we're even questioning whether a woman of 75 is able to look after a
Well, I
child.
tell you what, ladies, I knew it was going to end on a fiery note today. I think there's lots of things that we could keep going on about, but that's it for today.
Oh.